why you're undertaking people that's living on the street and putting them into hotels. Is it because it's a different budget? But if it's a budget for immigration people, then why can't you have a budget for British people that's destitute? Just some of the destitute people want to stay destitute. They didn't want to live that plain. Okay, I don't know. There's a lot of people asking these questions when I speak to people. He just flew past it. I wouldn't expect him to go into detail. He got back to the stick and plaster. We've got to do it long term. It says we've got to build the NHS for future. This was his 5 missions. His second mission didn't go into detail, just said it one line. Build an NHS fit for future, reframing to speed up preventative, blah, 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 blah. Okay, build an NHS fit for the future. Yeah. Who's going to disagree with that? How long it's going to take? How much it's going to cost? To be fair to him, says he's going to come back. It's going to have a big book. It's going to be in 5 volumes. Can I do it all at once? I know being out of power for 12 years, but I've only been the Labour leader for 3 or 4. And we had the panic. You know, we've got Ukraine, and I was across there dodging about with Zelensky and stuff like that. Third one is make the streets safe. Okay. And then he used the Blair line. And tough on crime, tough on the, you can fill the rest in yourself. Did it happen? No. Okay, enough of what Blair did. The 4th one is barriers to opportunity. Tear down them barriers to opportunity. It's just so bland and meaningless. That, what does it mean? The 5th one is energy superpower. We're going to be in the energy superpower league. And big Barcelona, they'll be in energy. I don't know. Munich. I think people just want cheap power, inexpensive power, consistently cheap, inexpensive power. I think that's what people want. Don't care what name you call it. He didn't mention anything about taxes. One of his pledges was putting taxes up. I think the Conservatives have put them up so much that there's not much left to put up for some people. But then again, you'll get some of the Labour people have the ideologue saying, you know, some of the people should be taxed 100%. So you couldn't disagree with his overall general thing: catch problems early, sort them out, blah, blah, blah. Have these measurable goals, and it's just, I just like, having been involved in some things like that in my work in past, I know how difficult these things are and how bland you can get away with a statement. To tie people down, you've got to be really, really precise. Overall, on a scale of A, B, C, D, E, I'll give him a B. It certainly wasn't an A. I thought some of his phrasing was trite and overused and old-fashioned and redundant. I think some of the things like, you know, national unity and stuff like that. Outdated for most people. People want to hear, this is my view, people want to hear what's in it for me. What are you going to do about your kids' schooling? What are you going to do about jobs and job opportunities? What are you going to do about the NHS? Staffing the NHS, providing a service for the NHS, for my family, for my relatives, for my elderly relatives, for young families. What are you going to do about that? Those are the main things. This malarkey with these pledges and, you know, we're going to make Britain the fastest growing. Okay. What's the point if it's the fastest growing if your standard of living has fallen? You can still be growing the economy quickly, but the government can be putting the taxes up, and the council taxes can be going up, and your insurance can be going up, and the cost of your car, and the cost of a lecky for your car if it's a lecky car, and you're being forced by the government to use a heat pump instead of gas central heating. We've got a fabulous rate against the G7 people. You know, we are twice theirs, but you've got less money in your pocket. Kind of gone to Spain, or when you do go to Spain, you're feeling like a cheapskate because you've got to drink in the cheap bars. You cannot afford the stuff like what the French people or the Dutch or the Danish people can, or the Germans. It's measurable, possibly, but it doesn't give you anything. You say, well, what would you like? It's not for me to say. I'm not the leader of the Labour Party. I'm not a politician. I'm not the leader of the Tory Party. I'm not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I think it's not a very good job. People criticize you all the time. How do you, to me, it's like being like Willy Brandt or somebody like that German chancellor from years ago. How did he do it? Got out of the way. Got out of the way. Let companies thrive. Put restrictions away. Or was it Adenauer? Maybe it was Adenauer. I'm getting the Germans mixed up. I think it was Adenauer now. Put restrictions off. Let the companies thrive. Let the companies build up. Companies build up. They need more workers. They'll take on apprentices. They'll do things. The economy will grow. I understand that's underneath, that's what he's trying to do. I understand that. It's like I say, we could be the top in the G7 and your standard of living could be less in 29 than it is in 25. Rishi Sunak, or as Joe Biden calls him, Rashid. I just thought that was amusing. Rishi Sunak says he's going to halve inflation this year. Okay. It's 10 point odd, and he's going to bring it down to 5 point odd or lower, possibly. Okay. Will that be good for people? Yeah, of course it will. But will the prices of the items that went up inflation come down? Will your pint of beer come down? Will your car insurance come down? You know, will your cheese slices or your pizza or whatever you're buying in this shops come down? Well, if your prices don't come down and your wages haven't went up, then even though inflation is only 5%, 2.5 times what the Bank of England's target rate is, then you're still going to be worse off. So you're going to be a bit better off, but you need to get more money to compensate for the 5%. If it goes to 5%, then you still need 5%. Everybody will say, well, I need 5%. Inflation's 5%. It's 10% this year. People are saying I need 10%, and I need it all for these other years. What I'm trying to say is this G7 block, it's, for most people, it's obtuse and it's meaningless. And this is what he's going to hang his #1 mission on. I would need to see all of the building blocks to fairly comment. I'm throwing mud against this at the moment because I don't think it's suitable. Maybe it's these building blocks that he shows. Yeah, we're going to do apprenticeships. Yeah, we're going to do this. How are we going to do it? Where are you going to get the money from? The government hasn't got any money. The government on its credit bill at the present time is 2.5 or 2.6 trillion pounds. That's 2,600 billion pounds, or if you just like it in millions, it's 2,600 million pounds. In this current year, 2023, Sunak has said that he's going to help out the Ukrainians by giving them somewhere in the region of 5,000 million pounds as a gift, which we'll pay for on our government credit card. He's only got to pay the interest on that, but that interest is forever, because the government never pays its debts off to zero. That's why we have a national debt. Some of the national debt we're still paying for the people that clean Nelson's blood off the deck of the Victory. We're still paying their wages out to some of it, I'm sure. Gordon Brown got rid of some of the age-old debt from the First World War. The ones that perpetuals that rolled over and over and over. People making a lot of money out of that. They got shot of them. We just fill it up with new debt. Oh, we got rid of that debt from 1918. I've replaced it with this debt from 2008. Debt is debt. I agree. Depends on the rate that you're paying. I believe Gordon Brown got lower interest rates on it, so good on him for that. And then he give the people in the gold markets a nice drink out of it when he sold the gold. But we're getting off topic here. We're back to Kier Starmer. I'll give him a B. I think he was reasonable. He didn't make any howlers. He's been well versed. He's obviously had a few battle sessions with people, because the reporters, none of them landed a glove on him after the meeting. As soon as he took the question, and he just turned it round and back to the 5 missions. Yep. What if aliens land? The 5 missions will tell you about their aliens. You know, they didn't ask about aliens. But so there you go. Kier Starmer B. I'll be interested to find out more detail. I suppose I should have checked on the Labour Party website to see if there's a big spiel on it. But the other ones, I think they're going to kind of release them. You know, build up anticipation. Also, it gives them time to craft it and also stagger it so that we've got like some big announcement. This is us. We're getting ready for power. 3 months later, we're going to tell you what the next mission is. Like one of them Transformers. You know, like the path up. Yeah, we haven't just been sat around doing now, sat on the opposition benches, been crafting together these missions. Told you that mission 3 months. Here's my new mission. Another 3 months, I'll tell you what the next mission is. So he's, from that point of view, it's a good train. I think that's a pretty good strategy. I have my doubts about Starmer. Then again, I have my doubts about all politicians. Is he better than some? Yeah. Is he worse than others? Yeah. Is he what Labour Party's got for the leader? Yeah, he's going to be the leader at the next election, unless something absolutely horrendous happens. You know, let's settle down here. Like he says, if you're not in power, you kind of dean out. Basically, elect me and you'll get a few chips on your plate. If you didn't elect me, you'll get an out. Be them Tories pinching all the chips. You know? Anyway, I'm 10.